What's going on, guys? We're back with another YouTube video. We're right in the midst of a new Spider-Man show coming out right now on Disney Plus with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I watched the first 2 episodes and I have to say, I'm mildly impressed. I mean, for what it is, it's actually pretty good. I kind of looked at the show at the beginning with the trailer thinking, okay, why do we need another rehash with Peter's origin story? It's gonna be the same thing we've seen before. To be honest, I'm kind of just tired of Marvel putting Peter in high school. And I wish they would just shift the focus of like all the younger Spider-Man stuff to Miles Morales. Let Miles have those types of stories and just let Peter navigate issues that older people have to deal with, like in Spider-Verse. I don't know, it just makes no sense that they keep putting Peter in high school when they literally have a young Spider-Man right here in the form of Miles that they could use. So I guess for now you could say that the show somewhat has my interest. But as you guys know, there were a certain group of YouTubers, a certain crowd of people trying to create controversy because, well, let's just say they weren't okay with certain characters being a certain skin color in the show. And apparently from this video that we're about to look at, apparently black people are the reason why Spider-Man is failing now. Now I really want to see how true this is. But anyways, let's get to the video.
So, I'm a bit late to the party on this one, but your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, the brand new upcoming animated TV show, has had a few trailers and teasers released. And to no one's surprise, it looks like total garbage. Just from searching around YouTube, you'll find people acting shocked to how crappy and how woke it looks. But I'm not really going to be one of those people who acts like this is some new concept. The harsh truth is, Spider-Man has kind of been ruined for years. And we've all kind of been coping and wishing in the back of our mind that Spider-Man returns to his former glory. But you could ask yourself, when did all the troubles start for Spider-Man? Was it when Tom Holland took over? Or when the Spider-Verse movies came out? Or when in the comics, Peter Parker was turned into a literal cock? But unfortunately, it does go before that. So I do respect Andrew Garfield's portrayal of Peter Parker, especially in The Amazing Spider-Man Part 2. But the problems we're facing now date back to that movie. I'm all about comic accuracy, and Andrew Garfield's movies failed in that department a lot. Even though we got to see Peter Parker sporting a goddamn Ramones t-shirt, I still think that his portrayal wasn't the best. But the real issue wasn't Andrew Garfield or the changes to the character's design. Instead, it was the race swap that we let go under the radar. In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Jamie Foxx plays Electro, and no matter what way you look at it, this race swap cannot be justified.
Not the cap.
Wait, so you criticized The Amazing Spider-Man 2 not by its writing, the tones, the themes, the characterization, or the plot of the movie, you know, things that you're actually supposed to criticize movies for. Guys, the real reason TASM 2 was a failure it was those damn blackies. Look what they did to Electro. Look what they did to him. Sorry to burst your racist bubble, but no. Making Electro black had nothing to do with the movie failing. And here you are rambling about comic book accuracy. You are aware that Electro's character design in the movie is literally comic accurate, right?
Stupid. You could say that Electro is just a small character. He's a villain for Spider-Man to face. It doesn't matter what race he is.
Exactly. So why change it?
So if you are an actual comic book fan like you described, then you would know that there was a time where comics, a long time, where minorities were very underrepresented. In fact, there was even a large period of time where comic books weren't even allowed to represent minorities, black people, Hispanic. They weren't even really allowed to represent black people in comics like that. Which is why it was so historic when characters like Black Panther, Black Lightning, and John Stewart were debuted and added into the mix. Unfortunately, as a side effect of this issue, most of the popular stories with characters like Batman and Spider-Man that these movies are adapting from don't really have any important minority characters. In fact, most of them barely have any minority presence in them at all. Obviously, our society has evolved since then. Some characters in these stories get altered or changed to make the setting more modern and realistic. Now, obviously, there are exceptions with certain characters being their race kind of has to be a certain way for their character's writing to work, but Electro is not one of those characters. He is literally just there to play a role, which is why his race could be changed and it won't really matter as long as they stay true to the core of the character.
The other argument you might see when it comes to race swaps is, well, if the writing is good, I don't care. Well, it didn't do that either, because he was literally the worst part about The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Worst part of Spider-Man 2? Nah, I disagree. Since you're probably not going to elaborate on why Electro is such a bad character, I'm going to describe in detail why I think Electro is an amazing character in the movie. He actually added some dimension and depth to his character and turned him into a sort of sympathetic villain instead of the villain of the week format that we usually see from him. Unlike most depictions of Max, where he just straight up hates the main hero, this version actually started out as somewhat of a good guy, which made for an interesting change up. Deep down, we saw how socially awkward Max was and how lonely he was, and we also see that continue to show with the obsession Max had with Spider-Man. Max had a really deep desire to want to be seen and feel needed, because deep down he was just a guy who really wanted friends. So when he has a mental breakdown in Times Square and becomes a full-on villain, you understand why and you feel sorry for him because of it. So I'd say that's pretty good writing. The same reason I love the Spots arc in Across the Spider-Verse, where he starts out as this obsessive Spider-Man fanboy and turns into one of his strongest villains. I think that's amazing writing, but apparently he doesn't like those movies either.
No, maybe I'm just hoping for a better world where the fans might have stood up and said something, but really, would it have made a difference? Because the people who own these corporations like Marvel and Disney and Fox aren't really the best people. Now, we won't talk too much about that because that's an entirely different video, but it does have to be addressed that people who agree with me are fighting a losing battle because they're going up against these companies that are run by people who want to bring in race swaps, who want to eradicate the wholesomeness and the hopefulness of superheroes.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Adding diversity in media eradicates the wholesomeness of superheroes. Yes, this is legitimately a thing that was just said. Ranting for vengeance. What exactly do you have vengeance against? Is it minorities? Is it black people? Did a black man steal your girl? Did your woman get a taste of the chocolate and demote you to munch status? I mean, not that you was eating any vagina with those crooked rods you got up in there. But anyways, sorry man, but unfortunately most people aren't racists and they don't freak out whenever they see a minority on screen. So, yeah.
And that brings us to the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, which every single one of them is garbage. There literally isn't one good film out of the trilogy. And if you thought The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was bad, Tom Holland's movies ramped it up to 11. And from the first one, Homecoming, there's already 3 race swaps that I can name off the top of my head. With Peter's best friend, which instead of being Harry Osborn, is Ned Leeds. You know, like the hobgoblin guy, the white guy. He's not some big fat Samoan dude or whatever the hell he is. So that's one. Then you have Liz Allen, which is the love interest of Homecoming, which I do respect. Because if you read the original comics, Liz Allen was Peter Parker's first love interest before MJ or Gwen. So I do like them sticking to the source material, but oh yeah, she's black. So they're not actually sticking to the source material.
How does this guy still have a platform?
We have the third race swap, which is the worst of them all. You have MJ, which was once this great character that helped Peter throughout the years as a girlfriend, then a wife that helped him, was literally the center point of Kraven's Last Hunt. Now she's Zendaya. I don't think I have to say much more. Zendaya looks like a 12-year-old boy who lives in the slums of Brazil or something.
What?
She doesn't look the way Mary Jane Watson should look.
Probably because she's not Mary Jane Watson. MJ of the MCU is Michelle Jones, which you would know if you were at least somewhat paying attention to the movie. Also, you saying that Zendaya looks like a 12-year-old boy is pretty ironic coming from you. Just saying.
There's the Spider-Verse movies that I could do a full hour-long video on about how retarded they are. Miles Morales is not a good character. None of the films are good. Stop overrating them.
Why are the Spider-Verse movies bad and why is Miles a bad character? Are you gonna tell us why you think the Spider-Verse movies are overrated, or are you just gonna keep saying dumb shit without explanation?
And as a little side note, let's look into the people who made it. And one of them is a guy called, I don't know, Randy or Rodney Rothman. And he believes that Peter Parker is Jewish. Once again, stay away from comic books and these characters. Stop injecting your own personal crap onto these characters. Peter Parker is not Jewish just because you are. And that's all these people want to do.
Peter being Jewish has been speculation even before the Spider-Verse movies were a thing. The directors of Spider-Verse just decided to play into that with their version of the character. It's based on Stan Lee, the literal creator of Spider-Man, being Jewish, and there are multiple hints of his Jewish lineage scattered throughout the Spider-Man stories over time. You would think with him being a quote-unquote comic book fan, he would know this with just a little bit of research, but I guess not.
They want to make Spider-Man black. They want to make MJ some ugly, racially ambiguous person. And all of that bullcrap brings us up to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And just take a look at it for yourself. Harry Osborn is some black tranny. And Norman Osborn is also black.
There is no indication that Harry is transgender, like, at all. Are y'all really just knocking this design because he has a man bun? Y'all do know that's a hairstyle that guys, males, actually wear, right? Source: I'm a heterosexual, cisgender male, and I wear man buns all the time. It's just another hairstyle I like to wear my hair in when it's not twisted or braided.
And Peter Parker, instead of being the character that Steve Ditko and Stan Lee originally envisioned him as, is now a soy boy that is almost more similar to an anime protagonist.
Bro, what? What the fuck does that even mean? Being portrayed as the clumsy nerd that we have been seeing him as since like forever. How is this any different than the nerd persona that we've already seen from Peter in all of his other movies and shows? You're not even making sense. What does this have to do with anime? Are you saying all anime protagonists are soy boys? I can't even begin to tell you how untrue that is.
I'm not even gonna give this show my time. Why would you even talk about this? The show is a dumpster fire. 2 people are gonna watch it. It's gonna get cancelled after a season, and then we're all gonna go back to living our lives. Spider-Man is not Andrew Garfield. Spider-Man is not Tom Holland. Spider-Man is not Miles Morales. Spider-Man is not whatever the hell this is. Spider-Man is the original comics, video games, cartoons, and the excellent Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, with the best portrayal of Peter Parker on screen.
Oh shit. You mean to tell me this dude is a racist, a homophobe, and a Raimi fanboy? Oh, fuck. That's a deadly recipe for disaster right there, y'all.
Notice how although Sam Raimi might be of a certain religious or ethnic background, he doesn't try to inject it onto Spider-Man. Because it's a character that you're working off of, that you're adapting from a comic book. You don't come in and go, oh wait, I'm this in real life, so now the character has to be that also. And that's why I'm kind of hopeful, and I don't really care. Because who is actually going to watch this? It's gonna die out like all the other products that these companies are putting out. And maybe in the coming times, the entire world can wake up and reject this, so we don't have to be subjected to it over and over. Because trust me, that will happen. We will get to a point where these companies can't afford to put out shows and movies like this because they're not going to make money off of them. So stay away from this modern tripe. Don't give your time to these corrupt producers, companies, and directors. And go back and read some of the great comics of Spider-Man. And if you got a problem with that, go complain to your boyfriend.
I think you need to be complaining to a proper dentist. Because it looks like what you need is some charcoal toothpaste, a proper toothbrush, Listerine, because I can practically smell your incel breath through the screen, and some Invisalign. If I were you, I'd get to work on that, like, immediately. Also, maybe try to mitigate your racist tendencies a little bit more so you don't look like an absolute lunatic. Maybe talk to a woman, not that they'd be interested at all in talking to you, but that's gonna be it for the video though. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys like what you see, be sure to like the video, share the video, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's gonna be it for this one. I'll see you later. Peace.